the first empire of Steppe, the Huns. The empire known as the Great Hun Empire or the Asian Hun Empire is considered to be first Turkish empire established in history. However, the Hun Empire was a steppe confederation and included different steppe peoples. These communities living in and around present-day Mongolia did not have a specific place of residence. They were following the water and grass that is the source of life. They dealt with animal husbandry in their daily lives, took hunting and riding training at a young age, and attached great importance to military training. They give weight to horse. The special bows they used were long range and effective. The name Hun first appeared in 318 BC. Huns began to take a prominent place in Chinese history from the Warring States period. The Yan, Zhao, Qin states, the southern neighbors of the Huns, built a defensive wall against the Huns. And the first state that attempted to build a wall between these states was the state of the Qin. The ruler of the state of Zhao Wuling developed new military reforms. According to these reforms, the Zhao people would dress like Huns, learn how to ride horse and to shoot arrows, and adopt the Hun life. These reforms gave their results in a short time. The reform was successful and they were able to raid Hun lands. In 2021 BC, the name of the Shanyu was mentioned for the first time in Chinese sources. This Shanyu's name will be recorded as Teoman. The name Teoman, on the other hand, was transferred to today's Turkish as Teoman. During the Teoman period, the Huns were expelled from their place by the Chinese raids and retreated to the north. The Zhao states really got stronger and they start to gain power in the Hun lands. During this period, the Huns were in a weak position compared to other formations in the vicinity. In 215 BC, they embarked on a great operation to completely drive the Huns away from China, and they were ultimately successful. As a result of the operation, the Huns were forced to leave the Gobi Desert and retreat to the north. Huns gain imperial status. Motu lead the Hun Empire from victory to victory, and the Huns would experience their golden age. The correct pronunciation of his name is Motu, and it has been translated into modern Turkish as Metehan. There are told that he is Oğuz Khan in the Epic of Oghuz Khan. The Han dynasty was on the rise at the time Motu came to the scene of the history. The Han dynasty will continue to exist for over 400 years and lay the foundations of signification, and subsequent dynasties will be built on this state tradition. Motu was well liked by the people, was the best fit for the throne, but his stepmother wanted to prevent him from ascending the throne, her own son to ascend to the throne. As a matter of the fact, the boy was too young and not proficient enough. His stepmother deceived Teoman with various rumors and convinced him that Motu would kill him. Teoman gets worried and sends his son as a prisoner to the Yuchi trip. His plan was to stage a fake raid and have Motu killed in the confusion that ensued, and to evade the public's reaction. However, when Motu masterfully kidnapped a horse and returned home, his father was pleased with his son's courage and strength and gave an army of 10,000 men under his command. Motu began to diligently train these men. When Motu Khan started to train his soldiers, have gave orders to attack where I shoot my arrow, obey the order. Accordingly, those who did not obey the order were to be executed immediately. According to the stories, he first shot an arrow on his horse during a hunt, And there were those who did not shoot in unity, and those who did not shoot were executed. He greatly valued loyalty. Later, he would establish a large intelligence network and created the TEN system, which is used by almost all armies of the world today. Motu learned that his father wanted to have him killed, and at a hunting party he aimed his arrow at his father, and all the soldiers threw their arrows at their Khans, thus killing their own Khan. After this incident, he killed his half-brother and stepmother, and all the statesmen who did not want him. Motu took the throne after a coup d'etat against his father. Great Shanyu Motu. The Tunghu, a Mongolian troop, were quite powerful when Motu came to the throne, but Motu defeated them decisively in 2006 BC. When Motu killed his father and took the throne, they want the advantage of the weakness of the Huns and invade the Hun country. Their aim was to start a war, so they tried to provoke Motu. Before that, they want his horse, then his wife, then a barren land between two states, where no one lived. When they asked for his horse, everyone except Motu was thinking like this: the horse is very precious to Huns, so we have to wage war on them. Motu gave the horse to them. This time the Tunghu asked for him his wife, and everyone said that war should be declared. But Motu sent his wife to them as well. The Tunghu thought Motu was weak and wanted his land. This time Motu declared war and easily defeated the Tunghu troops that he caught off guard. Motu had dealt them such a blow that they were only able to gather their strength after 130 years. When Motu ascended to the throne, he launched an attack on the Yuchi tribe, which was his important rival and neighbor, and defeated them as well. Thus, he did not leave a great power behind when he organized an expedition to China. Meanwhile, important developments were taking place in China. In 209 BC, a Chinese government official was taking the slaves given to him to work. However, he had to stop due to heavy rain and realized that they would not be able to arrive in time. He knew that he would be punished by death if he did not arrive on time, and he convinced his men that they had nothing to lose and started a mutiny. Due to the poor living conditions, the people soon became involved in this revolt, besieged the capital. After this event, the Qin dynasty lost its power and the collapse. After a period of the stagnation, Han dynasty eliminated other states and became the sole rule of China. Now it was time to enter the territory of China. Motu reclaimed the lands lost in the time of his father. Tauman one by one and crossed the Great Wall of China into China. According to Chinese sources, the victory of Motu was a legendary victory that has not been seen in the last 2000 years. Later, Motu Khan captured all the Turkish tribes and other steppe principalities in Asia under a single flag. After the successive victories of the Huns, peace was achieved between the Han and the Hun state through marriage. But the Huns could ignore the agreement and plunder as they wished. Yup Motus that in 174 BC. His son Lao Sheng took the throne and, like his father, pursued a policy of domination. China paid taxes to the Huns for many years and accepted their sovereignty. However, as a result of the throne fights and divisions that emerged within the Hun state, the state was weakened and divided, and some of them came under Chinese domination. The weakened Huns had no way escaping destruction. But a new ruler of the steppe would be born.